Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm excited to connect in with you here in February. We're just getting off to a great start in the new year. In 2018, we've also celebrated the Chinese New Year, and we are stepping into this powerful place in the year where we can decide to keep moving forward on those things that we said in January were important to us, that were on our list, that we wanted to make a movement and shifts and powerfully step forward in. Or we can kind of just keep doing kind of what we've been doing. And so I always think it's important that we stop in and we check on where we're at. And it's not with criticism, it's not with judgment, it's just kind of checking in and seeing, are those things that were important to me at the beginning of the year that I wanted to move forward in, am I doing that? In fact, am I actually taking steps, actions, activities that are moving me closer to that? Or am I perhaps kind of repeating the same things I've done before, hoping for a different result? Just kind of checking in. It's so easy to fall into those familiar patterns. And some of the areas, I should say, that I find many people want to move forward and powerfully have to do with making a difference, making an impact in life, in love, in our relationships, in business, that we really want to make a difference in our own lives and the lives of others in those areas. And so I brought today some amazing guests that can help you in this area. So as we're kind of checking these areas, as we're checking in and just seeing where we're at. Where are we in making an impact, making a positive difference? Do we feel like we're doing that? Are we taking the steps that we need to take in life, in our relationships, in love, in business, with ourselves and others? And just kind of check in and see. Let's take a breath into that. Beautiful. Because it's really important if we're going to live an empowered life, if we're going to live on purpose and with purpose, we need to recognize we're making choices every single day and throughout the day. And I want to encourage you in those pauses to double check. Am I making choices? Am I choosing to spend my time? Are you choosing to spend your time and energy and resources on things and activities and a way of being that's going to move you forward in those areas? So the experts that we have here today are going to give you great things to think about, some tools that can support you, questions, things to consider. Sometimes that shifting of our perspective can be so profound in how we look at life and how we can move forward in those areas that matter to us. So we've got a great show lined up. I'm excited to have you joining us and leaning in, but I want you to get the most out of our time together today. And the best way to do that is to be fully present. It's really easy sometimes to be there in body, but we're not really there and listening and engaged. And it's not an accident that you leaned into our time together, that you are here listening to what we are bringing to you and providing to you. It's been especially prepared just for you. And so I want you open, ready, and with great anticipation and excitement, ready to receive what is here for you. So I'm going to take us through a quick activity to prepare us. Now, those of you who are driving, please stay safe, both hands on the wheels, eyes open, no texting and driving, just inwardly tuning in to the conversation and really being purposeful about hearing and receiving what is here for you. Those of you who are able to, I invite you to put both feet on the floor, really feel it supporting you. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Great. Close your eyes. You're absolutely safe, I promise. Take a breath. breathing in through your nose. Expand your belly, see how big you can make it. And out through your mouth, like through a straw. Great, and keep breathing. This kind of breathing actually lowers your cortisol levels, your stress levels, and helps you become very present so that you can receive what is here for you. Because there's something here for you you would not have tuned in. So in this quietness, as you're continuing to breathe, please keep breathing. I want you to think about how we started our conversation today about thinking about that lasting impact, that making a difference in those areas that matter most to you. And as you think about that and you kind of take a look at where you were in January, kind of where you are now, has there been a shift in the right direction? What is it that you need to help you keep moving forward in these areas? What is it that would support you? And just see what the answer is. We're not talking about how. We're talking about what is it that you need. Being open to how it may come. And I'm going to add another layer to this. So adding in what it is that you need, let's add into that you are willing to receive, because you have choice. See if that shifts your answers a little bit. And just see. Because we have choice. I know there have been times in my life where I had a long list of needs, but I was not willing to receive. So it's hard to have my needs met. So I want you to just think about what is it that you need and are willing to receive. Receive that information, whatever form it comes. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present, and I invite you to write it down. Write down what it is that you need and are willing to receive to help you move forward in those areas that matter most to you. To have that lasting impact, make that difference that you're wanting to have in your life or make in others' lives. What is it you need and are willing to receive? And I invite you to write it down because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to get distracted and not have that on our radar. And we may have that very thing in front of us that is the solution, that is the answer, and we miss it because we're looking the other way or we forgot. So I want you to keep it top of mind, really willing to receive what is here for you, leaning in with great anticipation, because I believe you are here for a reason. And I believe you're here joining us on this show because we've got something that will support you and encourage you on your journey. So be leaning into what is here for you throughout our conversation. With that, let's take another breath together, lifting up all of what we need, being supported and received. Beautiful. Great. I'm going to go around our virtual room here so you can meet our experts at a heart level as we start our conversation. So, Dr. Gary Salyer, I would love for you to share what was laid on your heart when we paused and listened for a moment.
You know, Rebecca, when I was thinking we're talking about January, and we think about stepping up and getting into activity and doing things. But maybe what we need to take and receive from our loved ones and ourselves is just not so much stepping up, but sinking in to the groundedness of who we are, the real authentic centeredness, and of those around us who love, and even the universe. What is more and more laid on my is not so much stepping up, but sinking into the incredible resources of those who love us and the bountifulness of this universe we live in.
I love that. Kind of instead of trying to push so hard or reach so hard, really is that sinking in. Really beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And then how about you, Leslie? What was laid on your heart?
What was laid on my heart was very interesting because what came out when I was going through this whole journey is the voice to listen. And it's just basically having the time to be quiet, but it's also having the time to speak the truth and then trust the journey when it proceeds and when it helps other individuals. So then this way, that's how you can spread the love and care and concern by learning how to listen and then speaking the truth to that individual.
Yep. Yeah, but that pausing and listening first is so important and a great reminder to us all. For those of you who are action takers and doers, we can jump so quickly into action and sometimes have some missteps or maybe not say things quite in the way we intended because we forgot that step of listening. So I appreciate you sharing that. So this listening and then being willing to trust what you're hearing and share the truth is really coming from a place of great love. Oh, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And listeners, what is on your heart when we paused and we listened? So that pausing and listening, what was laid on your heart? The truth of what it was that you need that will support you on your journey and bring forward those things that matter most to you. Excuse me, just creating room for all of us here. And as we sink in, I want you to go deep. As Gary was saying, that you really sink into what is being spoken on your heart. And here's what I would like you to do. But you have choice, but this is my suggestion. So all of you get the most out of our time together. As we go to our first commercial break here, I want to let you in on a truth. It's actually a 2-minute moment in disguise carved out just for you. I want to invite you to give yourself the gift of these 2 minutes. Resist the urge to go run and cross things off your to-do list and get distracted, but stay very present and process and receive what's being spoken into your heart, into your spirit, and receive that. And take those deep breaths and just give yourself this 2-minute oasis to be present and receive. And then when we come back, we're going to share some great information from the heart to support you powerfully in your journey. Enjoy these next 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to talking to you when we come back.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone, and I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you really gave yourself the opportunity and time to pause, breathe, and be. We're so good at continuing to move and be in action, but there is such great value in remembering to pause and breathe and actually give yourself time to integrate what's being shared with you. So you'll have opportunities throughout the show to build that muscle and pause and integrate what's being shared. So make sure to watch for those moments. And I promised when we came back together here, I would dig into a deeper conversation with one of our experts. So that's what we're going to do right now. Dr. Gary Salyer is a master transformational relationship coach who helps rewrite the rules for love in our brains. He's the creator of Safe to Love Again workshops and soon to be released powerful book, and is absolutely passionate about changing a generation's fate with love. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Dr. Gary Salyer to the show. Woohoo! Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's so great being here.
You're so very welcome. Glad to have you. And I love to start our conversation with why. Why is this work around helping rewrite our brains and how we interact with each other and in relationships, and really causing this change in how our generation is interacting with love, that we can change our fate with that? Why is that work so important to you?
Well, it's important because for me, I know from my own personal experience in life, and every one of my clients, that the most painful experiences in life are all when love goes away or when something goes wrong. And I know the greatest joy is also when people find love. There's no greater joy than when a couple comes to me and they've been fighting and they're wondering if they should talk to me or an attorney, and they fall in love again. Or just like a few months ago, a woman reached out to me. She goes, "I'm 74 and I'm lonely, Gary, but I'm too old for a man. No man will have me." And then I get an email after working a couple months, and she's with a really wonderful man who's a widower, and they're spending the weekend in Napa.
I love it.
It don't get no better than that, man. It doesn't get any better than that.
And I can hear your joy and your passion. You really, to me, it feels like you take this stand for love and for people to really have those kind of relationships that they want and to not give up. I can hear it in your voice. I can hear the joy when they take those steps. And knowing you know, I'm going to share, Dr. Gary Salyer is also known as Gary to me because he's a good friend of mine. And I love the work that he does, and I know he has deep passion for really helping people have powerful relationships, not just long-term, but dynamic, powerful ones that are thrilling to have. So I appreciate that about you and about the work that you do.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we've been good friends for about 7 years. Yep.
So it's officially Dr. Gary Salyer, but I wanted to let anyone know if I happen to slip, that's why. It's with great love. But I wanted to look at this concept of being loved, because I think we use this term around, and especially this time of year in February, we talk about love a lot. But I'd like to know from your perspective, how do we know when we are loved? How do we recognize that?
That's a good question. It's actually the very core of the book. You know, we have a generation that without a GPS for love. Online dating has told us that we pick out a bunch of characteristics, and we're looking for compatibility and interest and things like that. And the fact of the matter is your brain doesn't use that so much. From the time you've been 1 year old, a baby knows when they're loved or not. And a 1-year-old, as we all know, isn't telling stories. They're not talking about limiting beliefs. They don't even have much language on board. All it is feelings. And your brain's using 4 feelings from the time you're 1 as your compass to say, am I loved? It's not all, a list on of things that we usually bring to love. It's feelings. And the 4 feelings are, have I been welcomed with joy by this person? Like, so glad to meet you. Or when you wake up in the morning, you go, hello, gorgeous. That's welcome with joy. Am I worthy and nourished to have my needs met? And do we give it to the other person? That means, do we notice what really they need? What are their dreams? What are their preferences? What are their patterns? The third one is cherished and protected. You get to be me and a we. Share influence, but you get a we that surrounds and protects so you can go out and explore your greatest potential and know you can come home to a safe haven. And then the last one is empowered with choice. Do they give you a choice and a voice? If you are running those 4 feelings, welcomed, worthy, cherished, and empowered, you're in a pretty good relationship. And that's how you know when you're loved.
Beautiful. That really having those 4 areas that you can recognize and know gives you that feeling. Beautiful. Thank you for breaking that down and sharing that with us. I appreciate it, because I think it's important for our conversation that when we're talking about being loved and recognizing that we're all on the same page as to what we mean by that. So if we start shifting our focus, so we've talked about what it means to be loved, how to really recognize that, feel that, know that, what creates then great, not just lasting relationships, but great lasting relationships?
Great lasting relationships don't fall out of heaven. They are created. It comes from commitment. It comes from trust. But what really creates it is when I talk about we have certain rights in life. They give these feelings, by the way. When we really look deep into the other person and we say, I see you, and we make them feel safe. We soothe them. We are there to have their back. And we say, you matter to me. I think what really makes a relationship great is when we can be a witness to all of their life, their vulnerability, their greatness, their weaknesses, and we say, I will be a witness to all of you, and I will be there to have your back, to value you, to support you, and to see your highest and best self. I will be your playmate, and I will help you also reach your potential. If we have that sort of relationship with each other, where we offer each other our most vulnerable selves and our most powerful selves in a loving, committed relationship where it's a win-win, when we are really looking out for their interest and they look out for ours, it's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful. And I'm sitting here as we're having this conversation because I love these descriptions of how we can recognize these things, have these great lasting relationships. But what if our relationships aren't quite perfect? Maybe we're not feeling all those things or recognizing all of those things. What do we do, and how can we shift that, or do we just start over? What is your advice in those situations?
Well, what I say in the book, and I work with all my clients, is that we are always having the experience in life that we have the rights for. Early on in life, usually in childhood, but sometimes later, our brain is given certain rights, like a right to have our needs met, or a right to create our experience, or a right to love and be loved. And if something damages that early right, then our brain stops reaching out for it. In fact, it will do everything it can to create the missing right, because that's what feels safe. If it didn't feel safe reaching out for your needs, then not. You'll attract a taker. Or if you don't feel empowered with choice, then you'll find someone who will dominate you. The best way to get off this hamster wheel of pain, or this Groundhog Day that keeps choosing the same person or creates the same experience, is to go out and find out to go deep, to find out where that missing right is, and then to restore it to the brain. Because when you give your brain back that beautiful right that it was meant to have by life itself, then it will automatically choose it. and I've seen it happen over and over, when somebody is given, say, a right to really be supported, they stop dating and being attracted to the people that won't support them, and suddenly they start being attracted to a better, more supportive type person. It's all about doing the deep work and noticing your brain got it all naturally, but allowing it to basically sink in to its own natural resourcefulness and making it safe to do so. I call that rights. And when people have a full set of rights, then they attract Mr. Right or Ms. Rights, and they give it back, and that's the key, giving your brain back all of the rights for a great relationship.
And I do want to stop here for a moment, because I want to address something here, because I love what you're sharing about how we can shift and start attracting Mr. and Mrs. Right. So those of you who perhaps are not in a relationship or are finding that you're not having the type of relationships come to your connections that are really honoring what you want and feel loved and feel supported. So I appreciate you sharing that. But I also want to address, what about the people that are in a committed relationship but aren't feeling all of those rights? Is there a place, can things shift for them, or do they have to give up and leave? What is your advice to them?
Well, I work with couples, as you know, and it works. You can shift a relationship with just one person, not always, but you can do it quite a bit of the time. But it's best when both people can come in and say, we're tired of this. And when that happens, what it really comes down to is you realize, what I tell couples, a secure relationship is where you give no BS and you take no BS. And if you're in a relationship that's not good, it's okay to feel empowered to say, look, I love you, but love needs to be more than this. And if you can't say that in the relationship, to find a way to empower yourself to do so. And I think that if we can speak our truth in a loving way, not in a threatening way, more often than not, partners will listen. And if they're not, then there's something that is really wrong, and then maybe it is right to leave the relationship. But I'm always about speaking our truth in a vulnerable way, in a way that empowers the other person to respond back. And couples can be taught that. And hopefully the best work is when both come in and say, we love each other enough to do this. Sometimes that's not always the case, but I think that's the best way.
Great. No, and I think that's important, because we have people that are in relationships, we have people that are not in relationships that are listening, and to be able to give all of them support, I think, is powerful, and to let people know that we can shift the relationships we're in. We can move in the direction that we want and take steps towards that. So I appreciate you sharing that, and we are getting really close on time, and I know you have an amazing gift. So I would love for you to share the beautiful gift that you are generously making available to our listeners today.
Well, if you go on my website, I have this little thing called Love Notes from Dr. Gary. And what it is, it's you'll get an email with a little link that goes to a 2 to 4 minute video. And I preview the book, and it's got lots of practical advice. It's also got some really wonderful advice from people like John Gray and Ariel Ford and Paul Craig Brunson and Sark and Carol Allen. And twice a week, you get this beautiful, uplifting thing that also gives you skills. One of the coolest things I've gotten since I released it a couple of months ago is somebody reached out on me on Facebook and said, I'm twice divorced, and my girlfriend and I are both twice divorced. And we were having severe problems, and I signed up for the Love Notes. And she goes, now we watch it every time it comes out, and it's what saved our relationship. She goes, we are figuring out how to love each other after 2 divorces, and thank you. And that's what it does. It creates love in your life. It gives you practical advice and inspiration, and that's why I created it. That's just testimonial.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you making that available to our listeners. So, love notes, and I'm going to let you know how to find that information. But let me transition. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So, here's what I would love for you to do is I'd love for you to pause, take a breath, stay present, and really see what is speaking to you about what Dr. Gary has shared and spoken into your heart and poured into you, and integrate that. Give yourself time to process that. If that Love Notes gift, it is his generous gift to you, resonates with you, then I invite you to go to radiogifts.net. Again, that's radiogifts.net, net full of multiple gifts. You'll want to scroll to today's date, which is February 20th. Put your name and email address so we can stay in touch, and then he will also be able to send you this beautiful gift. So let's take a breath. Beautiful. Enjoy these next 2 minutes.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship, and anxiety expert Sandra Reish. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you, that you got an opportunity to pause and integrate and breathe in what was being shared with you. And now we're going to shift our focus. We've been talking about love and relationships, and we're going to shift our focus a little bit because we're full service here to really look about making that lasting impact in life, in love, in business, really making a difference, being remembered, being able to touch other people's lives in a powerful and empowered way. So let me introduce formally our next guests. Leslie Ann has a bachelor's in political science, worked as a security manager for high-profile resorts, which led to her journey to becoming a motivational speaker, a certified coach. She's the founder of Leslie Ann Consulting, and she's absolutely passionate about helping you become empowered to make a lasting impact. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Leslie Ann Roszyk-Stephenson to the show. Welcome!
Thank you.
You're
you
welcome.
very much.
Glad to have you today. And I know you've gone... Absolutely. And I know you've gone quite a journey, quite a transition in the areas, but it's this consistent working with people and empowering them and helping them step forward, and even helping people fall in love with resorts, helping people fall in love with what we bring to the world and making that impact. So it's had this ongoing theme in your journey. And I would love for you to share why you are so personally passionate about helping people become empowered in this way and making that lasting impact.
Well, it was quite interesting because back in the days when I was security, there was always that, you always had to take care and protect people and serve them. But I found it in broader ways, and with all the diverse individuals that came through the casinos and then came through my life, the main thing that focus around that was just learning how to make life special. Everybody came in there for a special purpose and to make it special. And then now going into becoming a certified coach and being coached myself, the best part of all of this is we miss the part of taking action and giving yourself the permission to go within yourself to heal, whatever it is. And so that is what Leslie Ann Coaching is all about, where we take the action within yourself to help heal by empowering all of the experiences that you have within your life.
Beautiful. I love that. And that's very motivating and exciting because we have lots of different experiences in our life. and to be able to show up in them in an empowered way and embrace them, even looking back in that way, is, I think, exciting and really powerful to bring that to the world. So I know you have worked with leadership teams, and I know you have worked with individuals and a variety of people and really helped them bring this power into their life and be empowered in this way in transformation. And I would love to know, how has helping others have transformation in their life transformed yours?
That's amazing to ask, and it has transformed mine because it actually propelled me into a higher realm where I'm being pushed out of my comfort zone with motivational speaking. Being in security, I used to like to hide and just watch everybody to make sure everything is okay. Now I'm being forced into, by all good means, into, to speak my truth and to speak with my experiences. So it's helped me step out of my comfort zone and share my experiences to let people know, you know what, I don't have it all together, but I'm going to dig in. I'm going to use my emotional courage. I'm going to dig deep, go for it, and then just trust that the journey is going to lead to helping even more people and helping others share and empower their experiences.
I love what you're sharing about this stretching out of the comfort zone. And I was thinking back on my journey too. And a lot of what helped me do that was if it can make a difference for another. And I hear some of that in what you're saying, that it because of this desire to help others, and you had to step out your comfort zone to do that, you did that, and yet that caused amazing growth and transformation in your life. That's been very, very powerful. So I love that. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I was just very struck by what you were saying.
No, that's awesome, because it's the part of where, and I hope people share, because the whole part of this, what I'm finding out, and with just my clients and then teaching with leadership teams, is that everybody has a unique experience to share. It's having the will and taking action, and the key is taking action to go ahead and share them. And it's just, and we help teach, because it's kind of scary. You're going into this realm of this uncomfortable zone, and into this realm that you don't know anything really about. And do I trust it? Are there people there? You have everybody, oh my gosh, what are they going to say about me? And it's just going for it. and then just share how you were able to be an inspiration to other people. And then it helps people, which pays it forward and raises the energy.
Beautiful. And we can all be part of that process. We all have the opportunity. And I think that's really empowering to be able to embrace and recognize and know that even people in leadership positions and in coaching positions are stretching out of their comfort zone too. Like, it doesn't stop. You get to keep growing all of the time and impacting others and sharing the journey. So it's really beautiful to be able to share that and bring that forward. And I love the ripple effect that it creates and the work that you do creates. Now, I know that you have 3 pillars that are core to your organization, and I'd love for you to list the 3 pillars and then share with me if you have a favorite.
Oh, so I'm like, all right, the little zinger inside. That's kind of cool. So basically the 3 pillars of learning about everything is the first one about learning how to empower your experiences. Is first you need to know the influence that you have in other people. And it's either good influence, bad influence. What do you want to influence people on? Hopefully it's good influence that you want to go ahead and move the world forward. But it is knowing. But there's also the part of some people don't really know that others are, quote unquote, watching them. And you could really inspire another individual that's just kind of down. And so they can see by your actions, like, well, if she can do it, maybe I can go ahead and do it. And really quick, like I had this one lady who's a wonderful individual that I worked with on the casino floor. And every day I would see her and she would come to me and she goes, you know what, you give me the courage to smile every day. And I just looked and I said, okay, well, I guess I need to keep smiling so you can keep smiling. And it's just a little thing like that, if you can just go ahead. So no, and I didn't know. I was just running from call to call. And just having a smile on my face during that time, or going from my car to the grocery store now, or just putting that, it does have that ripple effect and can raise the energy.
Beautiful. So and we are running a little close on time, so I want to make sure.
Go ahead.
If you
knowing your influence.
Yeah, if you could quickly list the other 2 pillars, just so we're not leaving people hanging, that would be great.
Okay. It's knowing your influence. Then the next one is emotional courage. Then having the courage to share your truth and to share your experiences. And then the third is to persistently play. And you got to keep testing, keep challenging yourself to know and grow and be the person who you want to become.
Beautiful. I love that. And do you have a favorite, or do you love them all, or I'd love to know?
You know what? My favorite is persistently play, because I love to have fun and I like to just play and try different things. My workshops include many games. So yes, do that. But the one that calls to me the most is actually emotional courage, because that's the one where I always need to work on the most.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that they pull your heart in different ways. And I think it's important to have fun along the way in the journey. Like, we can have powerful growth and want to move forward in powerful ways and take that very seriously. But I think we can have great fun in doing that and stepping forward.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to remember that, right? So I love that you build that into your workshops. Well, we are just about out of time here, but I would love for you to share just quickly any projects that you're working on. I love to know what's going on and what's coming out, and we can share that with our listeners.
Well, right now I do on my website, I do have a 7-day challenge that I put out, because part of empowering your experiences, there's a lot of indecision that comes into play. So there's a free 7-day challenge. And on that, you can, it helps with indecisiveness. Just, you know what? Yes, why not? I'm going to do it.
Just say yes. I love it.
Just say yes. I love it. And there's a couple workshops that I have coming up in an online class that I will be building around everything that we're talking about today.
Beautiful. So lots of different ways they can interact with you and gain support and more information. So I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for being on our show and sharing from the heart and so powerfully with our listeners here today. And listeners, we are getting ready to go into another one of those 2-minute moments. So I invite you to think about those 3 core pillars. See what pulls at your heart. Take a moment to pause. Breathe and integrate what Leslie Ann has been sharing with you. And then make sure to stay present as we come back for our exciting conclusion and share some exciting final tips to support you on your journey. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America
The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. It gave you a moment to pause, breathe, and integrate what's being placed on your heart about making that impact. And I love the story that Leslie Ann shared about having a smile, and just choosing to smile during those times was having an impact on others. I think we sometimes underestimate the impact we already have. So I love her advice about checking in on that and kind of seeing where we are, and keep doing those things that are having that powerful, positive impact. So beautiful, beautiful share. And we talked with Dr. Gary, and we were looking at our relationships, and that we have this right to feel loved in all of those different dimensions. And we can bring that into our life, that we can step forward in ways that allows room for that steps towards that, so that we have these great, long-lasting relationships. So I hope you have enjoyed the show, our time together. I wanted to offer just a couple more tools to support you. One is that gift page that I shared with you earlier, that Dr. Gary has generously given us a gift today, and I wanted to make sure you knew how to access that. So you just go to radiogifts with an S .net, because it's multiple gifts, a net full of gifts, and you put in your name and email address to kind of open up that library of tools and resources. And you're going to find some in there from me. You're going to find from Gary today, Dr. Gary, on 2/20. So just so you scroll down to that date, you'll find his powerful gift. And I encourage you to look around. There's a lot of resources there that you can lean into, and you can take as many as you want. They are all free for you to support you. So that's radiogifts.net. Also, we have a television network where we have a lot of programming designed to empower and support you as well. So I wanted to make sure you knew about that. And you can find that at RHG, my initials, TV Network.com. And if you're enjoying our show, I know that you would love the variety of programs and programming that we have there as well. So more tools to pour into you, so that you can move forward in those areas that matter most to you. And then behind the scenes, I asked both of our guests if they had one more piece of advice, a tip, something that as we're bringing our time together to a close, they wanted to remind you of or share with you so that you can bring that forward as you step back out into the world. And with that, Dr. Gary, I'd love to have you share.
Rebecca, my favorite quote of all time is by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, where he said, "Someday we shall harness the energy of love, and for the second time in history, humanity will have discovered fire." And I want everyone to know you have the right to discover the fiery wonders of love in your life. It's not entitlement, it's empowerment, and it's your right. So go out and strike up a flame for love today.
Beautiful. I love that. And spread the flame. I love it, love it, love it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. And Leslie Ann, how about you? What was on your heart to share?
What was on my heart was say yes. You know what? You are special. You are the most powerful individual to make an impact on your life and others. And the best way to do that is by sharing your experiences, because nobody else has the experience in life that you do. So share your knowledge. Say yes to helping people. And the question, I would like to leave with a question, is how would it look if you had the emotional courage to share your experience with the world?
Beautiful. I'm just letting that question sink in. Because it's so true. When we do and when we share, it always impacts another and encourages them and inspires them when we're willing to share the richness of our journey and the humanness of it. It encourages others, so it inspires others. So beautiful. Thank you. I love that share. And listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart? What is something as you are pausing and breathing and integrating that you are going to take forward and bring forward, create a ripple effect with, or step forward in? Because I want to encourage you to do that and look back at that list of what it is that you need today, that you're willing to receive, and be on the lookout for it. Incorporate the pieces that you receive today that are supportive and bring those forward in your life. Because you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose. And I believe for such a time as this. So I want to encourage you to be willing, choose to share the gift of you with the world. I believe that's the biggest gift and impact we can bring to the world, is the willingness to share the gift of who we are with others. So I invite you to stretch just a little bit more, share just a little bit more of who you are, and that wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always be willing to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everybody, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Keep blooming and keep shining.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.